This is what I think you're most excited about.
I am. I do a lot of coin stuff. You're about to see what may well be the final, and that was a 5-ounce American silver coin, the Fort Moultrie that was just released. Those coins were first released in 2010. You are looking at a complete sealed 5-box set of 2010 5-ounce American Silver Eagles that I am now opening on the air.
Oh, wow.
This is the only set, I believe, left in existence. And here's what we have. There's the, see now, someone from the Mint said this is box 367, 10/1/2010 is when this was packed.
Really? Oh, this is
So I'm not going to pick this up.
wild.
So what has happened is the United States government, when they started doing the national parks quarters, for some reason, they decided to make each one of these in a solid 5-ounce silver version. And what I've got here is a complete collection of that first year of issue. If I can get in this thing. These are really, because these are the original sealed. These have been in here for a half a century. Can't get in. Let me try this without trying to cut my...
Please don't hurt yourself.
Oh, there's a 50-50 chance I'll stab myself.
This is live, so it could be
yeah,
really
this
good.
is live. I can do it like this. I've done that before. We got to get this.
They do package them up well, don't they?
They package them up well. Yeah, I'm going to have to get something else to get that. I'm going to get in here because I want to open up all of these. So if you want to check that out right there, let me get
a little.
Yeah, a little smaller. Yeah, I need a little smaller screwdriver.
There we go.
Let me get that. That
little
work right
bigger
there.
point.
And so, because I want to get these coins out of here.
I love when stuff like this happens. It makes you really get that we're live, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Cool.
So now I take this out. This is the very first quarter. And they did it, this is 5 ounces of pure silver.
That's heavy.
Oh gosh, 5-ounce silver, a quarter pound of silver, look at that. And you're seeing these for the very first time. Can you believe this? They're barely coming out there. There we go, got one.
Wow.
So there is a Hot Springs of Arkansas. Here's the thing, nobody else has got these sets anywhere on the planet, I believe.
Are you kidding?
Anywhere on the planet. Wow. As you can see, 5 ounces pure silver. This is the first year of issue 2010. Now for $1,499, you will get the entire 5-piece set. You will get the entire 5-piece set. So over the course, I'm going to spend a little bit of time here because you are seeing numismatic history. This is the last of these coins that are in existence. Can I get maybe a little stand or something that I can do this? So these are the boxes. Already these are starting to sell. I'm just going to put
we literally have
because I'm going to open
just over 200 available.
All this. I have just these because every single one of these is 100% original, and I am doing something. These are gone now forever. 6 sets already gone just like this. This is a unique one-time only numismatic opportunity that you've got here. Nobody else has got these. Nobody else has got sealed sets. I'm opening up the very last of these sealed sets that the United States government. Now, when these first came out, there was one of the biggest problems in the history of the United States Mint.
What was that?
Well, people were trying to pre-sell these for literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a set. The government forbid, because they did not release these to the general public. What they did is they forbid the people that got these from selling the coins for months until they sorted it out. Now, here's the amazing part. They only made 33,000 sets to begin with. So they are, sorry about that. So they are, in terms of rarity, remember I talked to you about that 10th anniversary American Silver Eagle set?
Right.
That sells for $29,000?
Yeah.
This has the same mintage.
Really?
Only it has 25 ounces of pure silver because each one is 5 ounces.
So let me ask a question. The customer gets all 5 of these boxes?
One of each one. They get 1 coin of each one. I'm opening up 100 sets. I have 2 of these complete runs. I have 2 of these complete runs. I'm dropping this stuff all over the place. And you're going to get them, and what this guarantees is the few sets that are out there, folks, the few sets that are out there have been around for years. They've been graded. You're getting grading rejects. You're getting all of that stuff. You understand that? So what we are selling you is the last, because complete sets graded I think we sell the coins that are about $1,500 a piece.
As they should be.
This,
By the way,
you are getting brand new fresh coins. There's none left in the marketplace. This is it. These are the only ones left. And by the way, if you order 10 sets, I'll give you a complete sealed tube set, which nobody else, I think, in the marketplace has today. These are going very quickly and starting to go. And understand, you are literally watching numismatic history. These are the last sealed boxes.
So you get Yosemite, Yellowstone, Hot Springs, you're getting Grand Canyon and Mount Hood.
Yep.
All 5.
How about this? And then we're going to show all 5. I'm gradually getting in these, because this is a big deal. This is a fun thing for me to do this. The United States Mint, they package these. So this is box right here. This is Mount Hood that you're going to get. 500. By the way, each one of these boxes contains 500 ounces of silver.
Whoa.
500. So we have 250 pounds of silver. 250 pounds of silver sitting on this table.
This is
you have to understand, it wasn't
really
that
cool.
long ago. These coins in 2010 sold for about 5 times what I am charging you for right now. I waited and bided my time until I could finally get you the best possible deal.
7 years.
7 years. Nobody else has these coins. Now, here's the thing. We're $299 a coin. The Fort Moultrie, which we sell for $199 a coin, was released last week, or 2 months ago, for $199 a coin. I've sold thousands. We sell thousands of these at $199 a piece. For a mere $100 more, you can get the first year of issue. You can get them brilliant uncirculated. No place else on the planet can you get these in brilliant uncirculated, because all the other ones have been certified and graded. As a matter of fact, if you look on hsn.com, I believe I have a certified set for sale.
Okay.
Of the 2010s. Can you guys check that?
Let's check and try pull
Can
that
we check
up?
that?
Okay,
on hsn.com. Once again, here's this one. This is 500 ounces of bullion. This is, these are the boxes right here. This is box 1300.
This is fun doing this live together.
Isn't that fun?
This is really, yeah.
I've never